Hello everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today Troy will make my favorite
soup. It's German potato soup, and she's going to let me hijack her kitchen for this. This is also my niece CJ's favorite soup, so I will give you away the trade secret.
Alright.
Okay. Obviously, since it's German potato, you have some potato. This is about 6 potatoes. They were about 4 or 5 inches long, nice big fat ones. The nice thing about soups is you don't really have to get real crazy about exact measurements. You can just make it up as you go. And that's usually what I do. So whenever anybody asks me, well, what's your recipe? It's like, I don't know. This here is about a ½ pound of hickory smoked ham. It's cut up in some nice big old fat meaty chunks. I've got a medium onion that has been thinly sliced with a mandolin slicer. So it's about 1/16 of an inch thick. I also have one of my favorite ingredients, which is leeks. Leek is part of the onion family. And if you've never cooked with leeks, you need to do some research because there's a special way to clean them. Because they grow in a real sandy soil, it's real common to find dirt has gotten up into the stalk of the plant. And so there's a little bit of extra cleaning that you need to do. I won't go into how to clean it. But if you've never cooked with leeks, you're a heathen, and you need to come to the bright side of the culinary experience. We have roasted garlic. We get this at Trader Joe's Fry's. This stuff is just gold. A little bit of liquid smoke. This is hickory. A little bit of white ground pepper, a little bit of salt for seasoning. This is a quart of heavy whipping cream. This is what's going to make it just nice and smooth. And then this is ghee. It's clarified butter. They've just taken butter and they've cooked it and cooked out a lot of the fats, and so what you've got left is just this wonderful buttery flavor. So what we're going to do is, the whole secret to this soup is in developing some nice caramelization on the ingredients before we start. So usually what I'll do is I have a nice heavy stock pot, nice heavy bottom, that we're going to start heating up. I'm just going to dump some of this ghee in there. Again, like I said, it's just no exact measurements. Just do it till it looks right. And we're going to take, and what we're going to do is we're going to take these leeks, and we're going to dump them in there. I'm going to just start cooking the leeks. And all we want to do is just get them nice and softened up. Same with the onions. What we're doing is we're sweating the leeks and the onions. We're just getting them translucent. We don't want any browning on these. Just dump a little more.
Hi. Only ham, no potato for Ginger. She make her own allergy list. No potato. Huh?
So here we have our leeks and our onions. We've sweated them in some nice ghee. So now they're starting to get a little bit translucent. We're going to transfer this back into our bowl, and then hold them, and then we'll incorporate it all later while we're going to start browning everything in this pan. Now we're going to start browning our ham. You may have to do this in a couple of batches. So you get some nice browning on all the ham. Now you can see in the pan we've got some browning in the bottom of the pan. What we're going to do is deglaze that. We're just going to put a little bit of water in the very bottom of the pan and just let it boil off and soften that browning up. So all we're doing, we've got this little bit of water in the bottom of the pan. Now we're just scraping the bottom of the pan. Get all that, loosen all those little flavor nuggets. Now we start to combine everything. First we're going to put our leeks and onions back in. The exact order you combine it isn't really anything to get crazy about. It's a soup. Pretty much can't screw it up. Now we're going to get our nice browned ham in. Mix it up a little bit. And final piece of potato. Oop. Can't rescue my slotted. Kind of fold it a little bit, just to try and get some of it mixed up a little. You don't want to get too crazy, you don't want to start mashing potatoes. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to cover it with some water, just enough, just to cover the potatoes. As you can see, we've put enough water in to just cover the potatoes. We're going to bring that back to a boil, and we're just going to let it cook for maybe 8-10 minutes. All we want is just to get the potatoes to finish cooking. They were partially cooked when we browned them, but they're still probably a little bit hard inside, so we just want to get them nice and tender to the fork. So that's going to sit there and cook for a few minutes. Okay, that actually only took about 4 or 5 minutes. Again, it's not an exact science. You have to just kind of have to go by, you know, how do the potatoes feel. So now the ingredients have been sitting in there getting all nice and friendly with each other. Now I'm going to add the heavy whipping cream. And French cooking, they do a lot with just cream and butter, which you put the two together, it's just delicious. So because we browned everything in ghee, you're going to have that nice buttery flavor with the creaminess of this thick whipping cream. Oh yeah, baby. I'm just going to stir that up. Let everything get then we're going to add the roasted garlic. Now this stuff I just love. So I usually put in, tablespoon, 2, lot of it. All depends on your taste. Gonna let that start to mix that in. Now, if you've cooked with potatoes, you know that potatoes soak up a lot of salt, and so you have to use more salt than you think you should need. It's also a real quick hack. You simply take a potato and cut it into nice quarters, toss it in the dish, and the potato will soak up some of that saltiness, and then you can just fish the potatoes out and you've saved your dish. So put some salt in. This is just some ground white pepper. Again, it's all just a taste. And we finish it all off with a nice big splash of... Now I use Wright's liquid smoke. This is the stuff that I have found just has the best taste for me. So we'll just throw in a nice big old splash. You know what? Hell with it. Finish the bottle. And it actually gives the soup a flavor like it was cooked on an open fire. So here you have it, a nice big warm bowl of German potato soup. We took some parsley and garnished it, and what I like to serve it with, and it's not German, it's Mexican. It's called Cotija cheese. It's kind of salty, and you'll have to forgive my Spanish. I speak Spanish with a thick gringo accent, so if you're a Spanish speaker, please forgive me for mutilating the name. But this is nice and salty, and it's also known as Mexican Parmesan. So it goes really nice with the potatoes and the creaminess of the broth. So anyway, hope you enjoy it. And again, since it's soup, there's so many different things you could do with this. You could take and substitute the ham with some chicken, throw in a can of corn, some sweet corn, and some fire roasted green chilies, and get kind of a southwestern take on it. Or, you know, substitute the potato, put in some rice. It's soup. You can't go wrong. So, thank you. Subscribe to M's channel, and we'll talk to you later.